This is an overview of learning activities, and this is part 2 in the Teaching Method series. I'm Dr. Grady Roberts from the University of Florida. 3 essential questions will guide our discussion today. 1. What is a learning activity? 2. What types of learning activities can a teacher choose from? And 3. How do learning activities influence autonomy or control in the classroom? So what is a learning activity? A learning activity is a planned set of interactions between a teacher and students intended to help students learn. And so it's a planned set of interactions, and as we go forward, we're really going to look at the different types of learning activities based on the interactions that happen in the classroom. So what types of activities can a teacher choose from? I like to think of 3 general categories of learning activities: teacher-centered activities, social interaction activities, and student-centered activities. I developed this model, which I've called the taxonomy of learning activities, to really talk about the different types of learning activities. You notice on the left there are teacher-centered activities, in the center there are social interaction activities, and on the right there are student-centered activities. If you notice on the very bottom, there's a diagram that kind of shows the autonomy in the learning environment. On the far left, underneath the teacher-centered activities, the teacher has a lot of control. On the far right, underneath the student-centered activities, the student has a lot of control. So in teacher-centered activities, if you look at the diagram, you notice that the interaction has an arrow going from the teacher out to students. And so it's a relay of information where the teacher is sending information out to the students. Examples of teacher-centered activities would be lecture and demonstration. If we talk about autonomy or control in the classroom, this is very teacher-controlled. The next set of learning activities are what I call social interaction activities. And if you look at the interactions of these types of activities, you notice that you have double arrows going from the teacher to the students and also from students to students. And so there's multiple interactions happening during learning activities that are considered to be social interaction activities. Some examples of these types of activities would be questioning, discussion, and cooperative learning. If we think about autonomy or control in the classroom, these activities really involve shared control between the teacher and the students. The final set of learning activities are what I call student-centered activities. The interactions with these sorts of activities are primarily between the students. So you notice that there's a double arrow connecting different students and then a broken arrow connecting the teacher to the students. And that's to really show that when we get to these sorts of activities, the teacher's kind of setting things up and then letting the students to do the work and learn in their own ways. So some examples of these sorts of activities would be inquiry and individualized application. So let's talk for just a moment about how these different types of learning activities influence autonomy or control in the classroom. The types of interactions that happen between the teacher and the students are going to vary greatly based on the types of activities that are happening in the classroom. So in general, in teacher-centered activities, the teacher has all the control. In social interaction activities, the teacher and the students share control. And in student-centered activities, the students have more control. Now notice that I didn't say the students have all the control, because ultimately the teacher still does have some control, some responsibility, but in those activities the students do have more control. So our essential questions for this presentation: what is a learning activity? And we talked about that. We talked about the interactions that happen in the classroom. We talked about the different types of activities that a teacher can choose from. We talked about teacher-centered activities, social interaction activities, and student-centered activities. And then we talked about how those different types of activities influence autonomy or control in the classroom. If you'd like further information on this topic, please feel free to contact me, and I've provided my contact information right here. Thanks, and have a great day.